Hi there, thanks for joining me. So today I'm building a kind of jungle-inspired looking house. I couldn't think of a name for it. I still can't. I'll probably just call this something like Jungle House. But yeah, it's a house that looks a little bit different to most of the houses that I've built before. I kind of tried to make it a little bit more jungle-y, but I mean, you decide. Does it look like a jungle house? Probably not. But there we go. The main reason why I decided to try and build something like this is because I very rarely do landscaping, or sometimes I'll try to do it, but I'm just not very good. And it just seems such a shame because we have so many landscaping tools that are just, when there's a skill and you just wish you could do it, but you can't. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I built this, is because I just wanted to try and get a little bit better at, learning how to landscape. It's all a learning curve, isn't it, guys? So, yeah, that's the reason why I decided to build this build in particular. Also, if you've noticed that my voice sounds different, as in a little bit deeper, a little bit more husky, it's because I'm recording this in the morning and my voice hasn't settled in yet. I don't know if I'm sure I can't be the only person, but I've never noticed anyone else have this problem. Do you ever get it when you have a different voice in the morning to later on in the day? So usually when I do my voiceovers, it's been a few hours, I'm fully awake, I've had drinks and, stuff to I don't even know what I'm trying to say, settle your voice, soothe your voice, but my voice is always way more husky than it usually is in the morning. So, yeah, it is definitely me. I also usually do voiceovers. It's very rare that I do a voiceover on the same day as the day that I build something, just because I kind of have a little bit of a routine. So I usually just will spend a day just recording a few videos, and then I'll spend a day just doing voiceovers for them. And as I'm rewatching this, all I can think about is South Park, because as I was building this, I was watching so much South Park. I literally decided, so for those of you that haven't seen all my videos and don't know, I have a lot of spare time because I don't have a job. I moved to America. I do have a job. I just am waiting to get my paperwork, my documentation, so that I can actually work. So it means for the meantime, I get to just, sit around dicking about with The Sims while my husband basically pays for this life that we live. He's a very lucky man, many people say. But I have had a lot of spare time recently, and I decided a little while ago, actually, that I would rewatch South Park from the beginning. I mean, I say from the beginning. When I say from the beginning, I mean from season 4 onwards. I don't know why. I'm sure the earlier episodes are just as good. I can't cope with how dated they are. And dated things are good. I used to watch a lot of old things, but it's just when the voices sound different. I'm like that with any cartoon. I hate watching old episodes of The Simpsons. It's because the characters are not the same characters. They don't sound the same, they don't look the same. Anyway, long story short, I started rewatching it from season 4, and I have already finished it in the space of a month. And yeah, this build definitely, all I can picture in my head is just South Park, because I think I was watching episode after episode when I was building this. Yeah, I have some pretty fun memories of that TV show. It's very close to my heart. I remember when I was at primary school, I went through this phase where, and for anyone that doesn't know the age of primary school in the UK, it's from the age of about 5 until about 10 or 11. And I was about 10 when I went through this phase, which was basically just going through a phase of saying everything in a Cartman voice for about a year. literally everything I said for an entire year, I said in a Cartman voice. And I remember being so convinced that I did such a good impression. And if you're thinking, you really shouldn't know what Cartman sounds like when you're 10, I did know, because I have mentioned before in other videos, when my brother and I grew up, we were always really, really close to our aunts and uncles. Like, all of my family, we all live in the same little village. And there's a fairly big age gap. There's like 7 or 8 years, 10 years between my mum and her youngest brother, and 7 and 8 years between her 2 sisters. And she had my brother and I when she was fairly young anyway. So there's always been kind of the same age gap with her and her siblings than there has been with me and my brother and her siblings. So we spent a lot of time with our aunts and uncles, and obviously we always knew they were our aunts and uncles, like, it wasn't weird. But we always kind of saw them as siblings because we were all around a similar kind of age. And I just remember when I was younger, me and my brother would just spend hours sat in my uncle's room just watching him watch South Park. And he was like 18, so obviously he didn't care. He was quite happy to corrupt kids. Be like, yeah, watch this one. So I was exposed to South Park at an incredibly young age. But, I don't think it did any collateral damage. I mean, I'm a pretty normal human being for it, I think. But, I think when it was because we used to spend a lot of time at our grandparents' house, because they only lived down the road, and so whenever my mum went to work, me and my brother would stay there. And my nan, bless her, like, she is a little bit naive. She always has been when it comes to things like this. Like, so after my brother and I were around the age of about, he's 2 years older than me, so when I was about 11, my 2 aunts got pregnant at the same time, and they had 2 more babies. So it had gone from just me and my brother to then being these 2 new babies, a boy and a girl, who were the new babies of the family. And I remember when they were about, I think they must have been about 4, my nan's house is usually like the babysitting hub. Because she doesn't work, everyone does. Everyone's pretty lucky in a sense that she will like babysit everyone's kids all day until they go to school. So she always has all of the grandchildren around, even now. And those 2 kids that I was talking about, they're now 18. So yeah, as people have had kids, they've still gone to my grandparents' house, still to this day. But anyway, so my nan would like look after these my 2 cousins. And I remember when she bought them this DVD, because back in the day when like H&M was a big thing and you didn't have streaming service, she bought this DVD and she was really excited to show them. But, my nan she did a lot of housework, so she used to just plonk the kids in front of the TV, put a movie on, and then go and do whatever she needed to do, which meant that she didn't actually watch the movie that she had put on for them. So she bought them what she described as a cute little puppet film, put it on for them, went and did all the housework, and only after that point she heard some rather offensive words, and then learnt the hard way that the movie she'd actually put on for them was Team America World Police. But bless her, obviously the front cover of that is just a load of puppets. I mean, they do have guns, but I suppose maybe she just thought it was an innocent movie about these puppets protecting the world by being policemen, sending a message to kids about abiding the law. But no, it was Team America. So we've all kind of had exposure to things we really shouldn't have been exposed to when we were kids. We've seen it all. And it's fine. None of us are fucked up. Like I said, the 2 young ones I was talking about are now like legal age, and they're not that fucked up. So, can't be that bad. I also remember when I was about 10, maybe, about that age, my brother and I would spend all of our time with our uncle, just sat on the floor while he sat on his bed, just watching him play games and watch TV. I think because we just thought he was so cool and everything he did, we were like, wow. So we would watch him play like GTA. One of my favourite things I remember watching him play was The Sims. Because I never had The Sims when it was just The Sims 1. I didn't start playing it until The Sims 2. So I have kind of, like, I know what people are talking about when they say The Sims 1, because I've seen hours and hours of someone else play it. And I remember him swearing a lot when he played that. But it was fucking hard. Like, The Sims 1 was so hard from what I remember anyway. 10-year-old me remembers it being rather difficult. And another thing I was exposed to when I was young, which was one of my favourite parts of going on holiday, was drag queens. When my brother and I were younger, we used to go on holiday every year it was like a girls' holiday. I don't really know why my brother was there, but it would be my mum, my nan, me, my brother, and my aunt. And we would always go somewhere like, Tenerife or Mallorca, just so we could have a little bit of sunshine, play about in the pool. And I remember every single year, like when I think of childhood holidays, I think of drag queens and drag queens only, because every year we would go to a drag show. And I look back now and I think, man, my family, including me, we are so obsessed with drag queens. I don't know why, but we really are. And from the age of like 5 onwards, I don't know how they were allowed to get us in, because obviously they were shows that involved swearing and, but, they didn't seem to mind. But yeah, we used to go to drag shows every single year on holiday, to the point where I thought it was so normal that when I was at school and my friends were going on holiday, my immediate thought at that point was, they're going on holiday, they're going to go and see a drag show. And even now, we love our drag shows. Big fan. It also helps that I love going to Pride every single year, so I get my drag show fix. But I never ever noticed it until not even that long ago. Like, I still fully had the thought of everyone went to go and see a drag show on holiday up until the age of at least like 19. It wasn't until like my husband said to me, like, why are your family so obsessed with drag queens? And I was like, what are you talking about? We're so perfectly healthy. Like, we watch drag queens as much as everyone does. And he was like, well, you don't. And it was then that I realised we had an obsession. And I still have the VCRs from all of the shows, because every time we went, my nan would insist. She would be like, oh, we've got to buy the DVD just in case we forget the show and we ever want to watch it again. So we ended up having we had a video shelf, and it was full of like 10 videos. Drag Queen Show 2004, Drag Queen Show 2005. Anyway, we're getting towards the end of the video now, so I should probably think about ending it here, so I will by saying thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.